Hi, this is Jason Lunker, and welcome to Negatives and Positives. The negatives and positives I'll be talking about is a guy that's known as one of the greatest managers of all time, wrestling managers of all time. Also one of the, which I kind of consider a good commentator. His name is Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette grew up in Tennessee. Yeah, he grew up in Kentucky, kind of like close, like Louisville, Kentucky, kind of close to the Cincinnati area. And he is a big wrestling fan. As you can say, he's also a huge mark, but not only that, but he's also a huge historian on all things wrestling, going all the way back to the territorial days of the professional wrestling industry. I really like his podcast called The Jim Cornette Experience and The Drive-Thru, because I really like some of his commentary. Though, like especially the one where he went off on. Usually goes off on Kevin Dunn. Usually goes off on Vince Russo. He goes off on things that really sets him off. Hulk Hogan, you name it. But the only problem I have with Jim Cornette though, he favors too much of the wrestlers, which are supposed to be kind of objective. When you're doing a wrestling podcast, yeah, I get it. You like CM Punk, you like FTR. I mean, I like FTR too, but like I said, be neutral when you're talking about wrestlers. You like Gunther or whatever. But hey, that's his opinion. But at the same time, you just gotta not be so objective. The thing with Jim Cornette though is why I've been noticing over the past years, he's been doing too much politics on his podcasts, too much of his stance on it. I mean, like I said, if you're believing something, fine, but if you're doing a podcast this is mostly wrestling based, just talk about the subject at hand. If you're gonna do your political podcast, that's fine, but when you're doing an entertainment podcast that's specifically about the subject matter and everything, just stick to it. Don't use your political stance against it. And that goes for people who are conservative too. The ones that are just going all conservative politics in your shows and stuff. It's I don't want to hear that. I want to hear wrestling, or I want to hear the subject you're talking about, movies, TV, all that stuff, or sports. I don't want to hear your political stands on things. If I want to hear that, I'll probably hear it from. I don't want to hear it ever though, but if I wanted to hear something, I'll go watch the news. But not the national news, it's the local news, so I can just get my own opinions on things. Okay, enough of my rants on politics, but let's talk about Jim Cornette himself. He's a little over the edge. That's the thing about Cornette, what stopped me from putting him on the cool list, because he's a little bit, something's not right in the head with Cornette about things. He wouldn't let that certain stuff go. Unless something really happened to you, if it's really serious, I'd say let some of that stuff go. I mean, it's great for podcasting and stuff, though, but go personal on Vince Russo like that, or to the point where you're just threatening to kill him or piss on his grave. That's kind of okay. Keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself and your friends about that. Fine entertainment, but calm down. Well, anyway, that's all I have to say about Jim Cornette. Great manager. He manages the greatest tag teams of all time at the Midnight Express and other tag teams, heel tag teams from the Crockett promotions, and for WWF you have Yokozuna, all the other heel wrestlers. He knows how to talk. He's a great mouthpiece for people who don't know how to use mic skills. Really enhance the wrestlers, make the wrestlers a little more tougher, kind of scared of them, of their presence. And you got Jim Cornette as a guy who can make anything real entertaining. So thank you, Jim, for all your entertainment. Though the one thing I gotta say about you, Jim, is just calm down your rage when it comes to things like that. And don't talk too much about politics. I don't want to hear that either.